Good evening from Washington. I'm Larry O'Connor, and we sure hope you're having a great Christmas and Boxing Day, whatever that is. No one's ever really explained it to me. And Happy New Year. We've got a lot of special programs this week. We're devoting the entire hour to conversations with the people we found the most interesting and really the most fun. And while interesting and fun, you got to go to Amber Athey, Washington editor. Is it Washington editor or senior writer? What do you got?
Washington editor. You got it.
Washington editor for American Spectator and
just
a very
the Spectator.
Good friend. Oh, that's
You're
right.
gonna get us sued, Larry.
Spectator. There's nothing American about it. Actually, it's pretty American. Anyway, it's Spectator. Thanks for coming and talking to us as I've just ruined your intro. Amber, so we checked out your byline over at Spectator. You always find very interesting and fun stories. You have. We're going to talk about a lot of the things that you've been focusing on over the last couple of months, and also have a bit of a year in review and look back politically on what this year looked like. But one headline of yours caught our eye. Virginia schools have had a heck of a year this year, and this might be beyond the pale. We've got a school in Virginia that is, they got a Satan club. Is that what it is? What does that even look like?
Right, it's an after-school Satan club, and it's sponsored by the Satanic Temple. And they claim that this is just a science and arts-based after-school program for kids. And basically what it boils down to is these people are trying to test religious liberty. So they see that there are Christian clubs there, and they want to make a point. See, you have to allow us there legally too. But the problem is of course they're exposing kids to Satan in the process.
Right.
So all of a sudden their good intentions become very dark and deceptive.
Let's break this down for a minute, because we got Satan, Beelzebub, the Prince of Evil. Right? It is like that's, I believe, what Biden was sort of paying homage to when he did that speech in front of the red walls. Right? It was like from the gates of hell. Satan stands for everything evil. Satan stands for everything that is just destructive and horrific. And it's a science and arts club? Now that's kind of a tell, isn't it?
Right.
So science is directly associated with Satan.
Yeah, and they have this little cartoon Satan on the flyers. And so the thing is okay, well, you're not teaching kids to worship Satan, but you're still normalizing him as a figure to them and making him seem like something potentially good.
Right.
They say in the flyer that they don't view Satan as a supernatural figure. They view him as a literary figure who, get this, represents opposition to tyranny.
Oh, really? Oh, that's what Satan was all about.
Right. That's requires a real massive rereading of every historic and religious text.
Which translation are they looking at exactly there? I'd like to know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what could be, well, first of all, obviously there has been some outcry, I'm sure, and some outrage that maybe we shouldn't be introducing our children to all things evil. But has it gotten the response that they were expecting, that there are Christian parents who say, oh, we shouldn't allow this?
Yeah, so I actually went to a school board meeting a couple of weeks ago at the Chesapeake Public Schools building in Virginia. This club was supposed to take place at B.M. Williams Primary School. So this is for
primary school?
Right, so first, second, third graders, essentially. And the turnout was incredible. There were about 200 parents there who varied from reading Bible verses to speaking out against the club to saying, we understand that legally we have to have it, but we just want to express our opposition. Just to, so it was, I mean.
So they didn't take the bait. They're not, they're actually.
It was a mix. I mean, some of them took the bait and sort of had the righteous outrage, which I think is understandable. But there were other people who were saying, how can we minimize the impact of this club on our kids and on our schools?
I mean, knowing Christian families the way that I do, one sort of way to troll this is to there's no barrier to entry. You don't have to profess your love for Satan or deny Christianity or anything, do you, to get in?
I don't think so.
It should be open to everyone.
Right.
So all the Christian kids should go and just evangelize anyone who's there and say, great to be here at the Satan Club. Now, have you given your life to the Lord? Have you read John 3:16? Let's go through the Bible and just see what they'll do, right?
Yeah, totally.
I mean, it's a good place. If you're looking to save a soul, it's probably a good place to find one.
Sure, and I think that a smart lawyer could easily get these things shut down. There's only 6 across the country, And the problem is the Satanic Temple claims to have sincerely held religious beliefs. That's how they get away with this stuff. They claim protection under the First Amendment. But everything in their literature and on their website is completely contradictory to that notion. I mean, even the admittance that they don't worship Satan or view him as a supernatural figure, I think should disqualify them from having protections.
What kind of religion are you if you acknowledge that this isn't a religious figure?
Yeah,
right?
so I think it's about time that somebody actually, call their bluff, let them sue, go to court, and battle it out.
There's also something fascinating. It's so boring that they try to do this, to just poke Christians and try to draw them into a fight. And look at me making my point, right? But the fact that it's a science and art-based group, it suggests, if you're a Christian, then you're not pro-science. If you're a Christian, you hate art. Where some of the greatest art in our lifetimes, or in American or world history, has come from religion, from Christianity specifically. So it's such a lie.
The whole thing is a lie. These people are super arrogant. There were actually some Satanists who showed up at the school board meeting and spoke.
Were they wearing little horns and a little pitchfork?
They said "Hail Satan" at the end of their speeches, and they did the devil horns. Yeah, it was ridiculous. The vibe that I got from these people. University of
Texas should sue, by the way.
Right. The vibe that I got from these people is that they think they're being edgy and they think they're being cute, and a lot of them had bad experiences with Christianity growing up.
Yeah.
And so this is kind of their way of lashing out and trying to punish the people that they perceived to have wronged them.
They should get a hobby is what they should do. All right.
And maybe a little bit of love.
Yeah, well, what kind of love, though? See, in fact, are they going to be sponsoring?
God's love.
I was going to say, is the Satan Club going to be sponsoring a drag queen story hour,
boy.
perhaps?
That's probably next.
Well, but it's interesting because this has been a battleground, certainly in the state of Virginia. When you think about public education, you think of the Loudoun County School Board, you think about the transgender policies that ended up with that poor girl being sexually assaulted and all of the fallout from there. The fact that parents are re-engaged in all of these things and trying to take back the schools that they pay for, that's a good thing. And clearly these guys, the Satan Temple people, they know that public schools really is where the battleground is right now.
100%. It's been amazing to see the tide turn. I think for a long time, conservatives in particular did not recognize the importance of local politics, and the school boards during the pandemic with the mask mandates, the vaccines, the parents realizing that their kids were being taught critical race theory and woke gender ideology really made them show up and say, this really matters.
Right.
And I want my voice to be heard because my taxpayers are paying for this and my kids are experiencing it.
By the way, with these drag queen story hours, David French's love for them set aside
The
here.
blessings of liberty.
The blessings of liberty. No one's been able to answer one simple question. Why is it so important for drag queens to tell stories to little children? Why is that so important to them? They're the only group out there that's demanding to tell stories to a bunch of little kids, and it's only drag. Why is it so important to them?
It's a good point. That's a little weird, isn't it?
It
makes you think.
It is.
What is the purpose of this?
There's no other artists or performers who were saying, hey, yeah, we demand to be there too, except for Kirk Cameron. He wanted to read his book, his Christ-based biblical book, to children, and the same schools that like the drag queens don't like Kirk Cameron.
Well, the reality of the whole drag queen shows, regardless of whether or not they're with children, is that they're a highly sexualized and caricatured version of women.
Yes, they are. They're minstrel shows.
I find it pretty offensive.
Yep.
I mean, maybe I'm a fuddy-duddy, but...
Hold that thought. We're going to talk about Dylan Mulvaney later in the program, your favorite. But that's coming up a little later. More to come. Keep it here. More to come with Amber Athey on O'Connor Tonight.